Since ancient times, the Bible has been told through a very particular lens, almost as if it belonged to one culture alone, as if its stories had no connection to the diversity of the real world. Yet when you dive deeper into the texts and bring in history, archaeology, and anthropology, a much wider, richer, and more surprising picture comes alive. There are secrets hidden in plain sight, details about people's lands, and figures of African descent that have been silenced for centuries. And this silence is not random. What is left untold shapes how we see ourselves and our heritage. Today, we're going to uncover those secrets and open the Bible from a perspective that rarely gets shown. The first thing we need to understand is that the biblical world was not some isolated corner of Europe, as so many medieval paintings led us to believe. The heart of these stories lies in the Middle East and North Africa, and the people who lived there had a wide range of skin tones, from very light to deeply dark. When we take the map seriously, we find Egypt, Ethiopia, Nubia, and Cush mentioned again and again as key players, not as background decoration, but as central to the story. These nations weren't just existing on the sidelines. They had political, commercial, marital, and spiritual ties with the Israelites. The Bible is full of Africa's presence. One of the most striking secrets is about the Ethiopians, known in the Bible as the people of Cush. Time and again, the text mentions Cush and its descendants as warriors, kings, and people of influence. The Hebrew prophets themselves spoke of their power and reach, and the word Cush itself literally means people of dark skin. That's not a small detail, it's an acknowledgement that the sacred story was not written in a monocultural world, but in a diverse, interconnected one. Another powerful secret lies in the interracial marriages found in the Bible. Moses, for instance, married a Cushite woman, a black woman. This caused tension so much so that his sister Miriam criticized the union. But the divine response was sharp. God defended Moses' marriage and punished those who spoke against it. That moment carries a powerful message, still relevant today. Unions across races and cultures weren't condemned in Scripture. They were protected. And then we have the Queen of Sheba, one of the most mysterious and fascinating figures in the Bible. This African queen traveled with a magnificent entourage to meet King Solomon in Jerusalem. It wasn't just a visit, it was a meeting of two great powers, two cultures, and it left a deep mark not only in biblical writings but in Ethiopian tradition as well. Many believe that from this encounter a dynasty was born, one that shaped African history for centuries. The Queen of Sheba stands as a symbol of African wisdom, wealth, and female power, elements often overlooked in traditional readings. Another surprising detail is the role of African soldiers and mercenaries in Israel's history. Egyptian and Nubian armies appear repeatedly as decisive forces in the region's conflicts. Sometimes they were allies, sometimes enemies, but they were always present. This reminds us that African powers weren't peripheral, they were central to the geopolitical game surrounding Israel and Judah. The modern silence about their role is, in truth, a way of erasing Africa's influence from the foundations of the biblical narrative. There are also passages where God directly elevates and blesses black individuals. In the book of Acts, we meet an Ethiopian eunuch, a high official of Queen Candace. This man, educated and powerful, was baptized by Philip on the road, making him the first recorded African Christian. The symbolism here is profound. Christianity was born open, not exclusive, and Africa was included right from the very beginning. We also can't ignore the descendants of Ham, one of Noah's sons, from whom several African nations are said to come. For centuries, this genealogy was twisted and misused to justify slavery and racism. But the truth is, the text never speaks of any racial curse. That interpretation was a deliberate manipulation, crafted to legitimize oppression. Reclaiming the original meaning of these genealogies is essential for dismantling those historical lies. And then there's Egypt, one of the most symbolic places in the Bible. It wasn't just a land of plagues and exodus, it was a refuge. Abraham fled there. Joseph rose to power there. Moses was shaped by it. And even the infant Jesus and his family found safety in Egypt. Time after time, Africa provided sanctuary, wisdom, and protection. Far from being a mere backdrop, it was part of divine providence itself. Each of these secrets reveals an uncomfortable truth for dominant narratives. The Bible is also a book deeply tied to African heritage and black roots in humanity. Recognizing this, Dosen T just restored dignity to peoples erased from history. It allows us to see the richness of Scripture more clearly. This journey is far from over, because every time we reread the text with open eyes, we realize that the silenced voices are still speaking. The real question is, are we ready to listen?